Hello and welcome back to another episode of Inside the Tank, sponsored by CW Sports Memorabilia. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome back. I am your host, Tyler Rains, along with my co-host, Alex Fortadal. Alex, big week for the Steelheads this week. They got 6 out of a potential 6 points. How are we feeling about that, man?
Well, hey man, listen, if I'm a member of the Mississauga Steelheads, I feel pretty darn good about the weekend I just had, right? The pieces are starting to come together, right? They beat Niagara, good margin. They shut out Hamilton, which, as we've seen before in their matchup against Hamilton, a very tough defensive team to crack, but they were able to beat them on top of, I believe, right, you said 6 points. What was the previous game they played in? I forgot. What was
It was Kingston, Hamilton, and Niagara.
It was Kingston, right? And they beat Shane Wright and Kingston. It was a great game.
That game. You know what? I think that's the first one that we'll talk about. But
Absolutely.
Who can forget the ending to that game? It's as you'd expect. They had a little bit of a difficult time with Kingston, as we talked about last week, as we knew they would. So, of course, Levi Miralainen started for Kingston. Roman Bazarin, who has been absolutely solid, in my opinion, should have got OHL Player of the Week because of how he played.
He's been very consistent.
Both those goalies were just straight up solid. But it's just a matter of, was the Steelheads defense as good as they should have been against Shane Wright and that Shane Wright, Martin Kromiak, and Matthew Soto line? Probably not, but it's hard to defend against players like that. So, of course, they go a couple of minutes into the first period. Ty Collins opens the scoring. Then it goes a little bit downhill from there. That's when they start taking a couple of penalties. Luckily, nothing comes on the power play for Kingston, but then they just let Shane Wright have way too much space. Gets his 4th of the year. And again, Martin Kromiak and Matthew Soto getting the assists on them. That's the problem, right? 1-1 after the first period. Going into the second period, 1 minute and 26 seconds in, Martin Kromiak scores his 6th of the year. And wouldn't you know it, Shane Wright and Matthew Soto got the assists on that one too. Defending against this particular, Kingston's a good team, and it's really it's hard to defend against them in general. But defending against that line, I can only imagine how difficult that is. Because this team, regardless of how defensively responsible they are and how compact they are on defense, when you're guarding a number 1 overall pick in the upcoming draft, somebody who's drafted pick. Exactly. Somebody who's got exceptional status.
You can't give him space. You can't afford to. Shane Wright was given exceptional status for a reason. He is a goal-scoring Patrice Bergeron. I've said that before off camera. Like his whole game is so smart. It's so intelligent, and his execution of his game is absolutely incredible. You can't give him space, and you can't give his teammates space. You have to listen. And for the record, this goes for anyone facing off against Kingston Frontenacs. If Shane Wright is on the ice, buckle down your defense hard. Park the bus. That's a FIFA reference. Park the darn bus. Okay, make sure your man-on-man coverage is good because if Shane Wright can find a teammate to pass to, majority of the time that puck's going to go in the back of the net.
And that's the thing, right? Like some teams are so defensively sound and they're just amazing on defense, but that's the thing. Shane Wright and Martin Kromiak will always find a way to break your defense somehow and get past your goaltender. That's just it. Like, that's just the way it goes. It's his nature, and it's like you said, he was given exceptional status for a reason. One of those reasons is that he has the IQ of no player that we've ever seen before. He can visualize the plays before they even happen. Like, he knows exactly what he's going to do and he executes on it. So, I mean, it's incredible. So, of course, Kingston takes a 2-1 lead. Aiden Pruder comes back in the third period, ties the game up. Then we go to overtime. Nothing gets solved until the literally last second. Pruder passes it to Luke Misa. Misa sets Ethan Del Mastro up for a beautiful one-timer buzzer beater. Mississauga secures the 2 points.
I thought I was watching basketball when that buzzer beater went. That was just incredible.
That was,
That
was probably one of my favorite goals to watch because, I mean, hey, it's not often that you get to see a buzzer beater, let alone in overtime. And I mean, as much as I would have loved to have seen them go to a shootout because, Owen Beck's a wizard.
Shootouts are fun. Yep.
Just getting the win in overtime was, I think, one of the most important things that they had to do.
Yep, I agree.
And on Friday night, a couple of days later, the Hamilton Bulldogs roll in. Man, game filled with penalties. It was 0-0 for most of the game. 2 minutes into the third period, Luca Del Belbaluz finally finds the back of the net on the power play. Thank God for that. Because that was starting to get a little bit painful to watch Marco Constantini make all those saves, to be honest.
He's a darn good goalie.
That's the problem, right? Is when you're playing Hamilton, they're two really good teams in terms of goaltending. You know, you got Bazrin and Ranger, and then you got Marco Constantini for Hamilton. They're two solid teams that you cannot easily get past their goaltenders on a good night. This was exactly that, because you saw the Steelheads had so many scoring chances. They just couldn't get it into the back of the net. And again, that's what you love to see, is that they have those scoring chances. But when you're facing a goalie who's solid like that, who's red hot, there's nothing you can really do about it, right? Just keep trying to pepper him on goal, and that's exactly what they did. So look at Del Belbaluz. Once again, I don't know how he does it, but he does. Scores his fourth of the year. A couple minutes later, Owen Beck gets a great pass in front from Zach Lavoie, and just he made Constantine look silly on that one.
Yeah, I will say Constantini on that goal was a tiny bit out of position. He was trying to use his left leg to make that potential save, but when he put up his left leg, the puck went underneath the pad between the legs and in. So you know what? And for the record, that whole game, Owen Beck was showing great offensive hockey IQ in terms of his skill and making good potential scoring chances against Hamilton. So, you know, it makes sense. His whole game was very good offensively. So of course he was able to find the back of the net from a very good Zach Lavoie pass. And listen, his passing's been pretty good. His forechecking has been very solid. His edge work is there. He just needs to find the back of the net. But honestly, I think everything, you know, he's putting the pieces together in terms of his overall game. Once he gets that very first goal, it's all gonna come together. So.
And it's going to happen any game now.
I mean, absolutely. He's
looking for it. You can tell whenever he's on the ice, whenever he comes back to the bench, he's frustrated. He wants it. And he wants it bad.
Absolutely.
It's only going to be a matter of games. Like, he could end up scoring next Friday night. And, you know,
he really could.
The thing about Zach Lavoie is once he gets going, it's like Owen Beck. Once those two get going, there's no slowing them down.
That is true.
That goes the same thing with Luca Del Belbaluz this season. James Hardy. We saw that with Liam Hamm last year. Like, once these guys get going, there's no stopping them. And I think that's what they need. They just need a little bit of a push. Well, some of them have already gotten it. I think Lavoie just needs a little bit of a push, and then he's got it. So once he scores that first goal, he's going to start popping off. And that was an incredible pass, and I have to give him credit where it's due. I mean, he's a great goal scorer, but he's also an amazing passer, and he's proven that this season.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
You know, Zach Lavoie had the primary assist on that one. Ethan Del Mastro gets the other assist, and then of course James Hardy scores his 9th of the year. 9 goals in 10 games. Once again, I don't know why he wasn't drafted last year. That was a big mistake.
On an empty netter, it was still a good goal. Listen, a goal's a goal at the end of the day. Empty netter,
exactly.
Not, right?
And regardless if it was an empty net or not, I think you have 9 goals in 10 games up to that point.
Yeah.
And like it baffles me to this day that he wasn't drafted, because I mean, again, like, I just don't get it.
No one gets it, man. No one gets it.
So they get another 2 points. So that's 4-6. And I remember saying to Alex that one night that, hey, you know, the Steelheads have 4-6. I'm not going to jinx anything here, but like, you might want to watch out because they might get another
win.
You
almost jinxed it.
And this game, I was going to go to the game on Sunday, but I wasn't able to due to personal reasons. But I called it almost immediately. As soon as the Ice Dogs went up 1-0, I'm just like, hey, you know what? They're gonna score 4 goals in the third period. They're gonna score 4 goals in the third period. They're gonna end up winning the game. The only thing that I got wrong on that was Hardy was gonna get 2 goals. He only ended up getting 2 assists. Actually, sorry, 3 assists.
He got 3 assists. He still went off.
He
still went off and is now officially over a point per game.
Oh,
so
incredible.
You know,
but you know, I mean, going into this game, it was already going to be like kind of a tough one because Niagara had gotten the best of the Steelheads the first time these two teams met. But of course,
sure, yeah,
I won't lie to you. They didn't play extremely well in the first period. They had a little bit of a slow start, you know, rightfully so.
Yep.
Because, you know, sometimes that happens, right? So, of course, it was 0-0 for the most of the first period. At 19 minutes, Alec Leonard scores his first OHL goal, which was a pretty nice pass from Aiden Castle and Panofemis, which I got to give them credit to where it's due as well. Because, hey, look, you're playing on the Toronto Junior Canadian line, literally a line that you forged from 3 players that played for the same team, and they've got the chemistry.
Well, of course, they had the chemistry. They also had the ability as well.
That goal that he scored, and by the way, we're going to link all of the highlights down in the description so you can go and check them out on the OHL's website.
Absolutely, yeah.
But that goal that Alec Leonard scored was just pure chemistry between the 3 of them. And look,
listen, yeah,
I acknowledge a good goal when I see it. That was one of those ones.
Well, listen, Panofemis didn't go second overall in the draft for a reason, right? Aiden Castle wasn't traded to Niagara this past offseason for a very, very hefty load, multiple second and third round picks, being exchanged in that trade with Oshawa, I believe, right? Like he's a quality player, right? Both him and Femis and Leonard too are all 2022 NHL draft prospects, right? So, when you pay the price, or when you pay the price for quality players, when you draft high for quality players, you're going to get quality results. And especially in terms of that goal, that was a very, like you said, pure. That was just a showcase of what chemistry can bring to a line, and the offensive benefits good chemistry can come from. My wordage is terrible today, but like you said, it was a very, very good goal.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, I think anytime that you can get goals like that, it really just kind of shows how much that that line, or the team that you put together works very well. And I think that you could say the same about the Collins, Hardy, and Del Belvalu's line, because those 3, really you can see the chemistry between those 3.
Yeah,
like it's almost like they've been playing together for 8 years, which
that is true.
Not all of them have, but you get the point. So, of course, they score in the first period, no scoring in the second period. And then as soon as the third opens up, my expectations for Chaz Sharp were that he scores in a couple of clutch games. I didn't know it was going to be this early in the season. And to be completely honest, I was pleasantly surprised, because he scores the tying goal. And like a minute and 20 seconds later, he's got another one and they take the lead. It's like we said, they had a slow start during the beginning of the season, and now they're finally starting to get back into the swing of things, maybe developing a little bit more chemistry, and really just starting to get the hang of, hey,
things will come with time. Finally. Absolutely, things will come with time, right? Because because I've said this multiple times before on Inside the Tank and to you off off this off media, right? Like, give this team a full year of experience and they're going to go off next year and the year after, because their overall potential is incredible. The Steelheads have drafted well. They've drafted well with the picks they had. Because listen, Owen Beck, right? Let's be real here. He's probably, in terms of the full impact he brings to the ice whenever he plays, he's the number one guy. He plays defense well. He contributes to offensive plays well. His hockey IQ is very, very mature at this stage in his young career, right?
Which is really quite like
absolutely. The point totals are there, right? 8 points in 11 games. That for a rookie, come on, the point totals are there.
Surprise. I think that both of us are really impressed. I think a lot of people are impressed by Owen Beck. I mean, I don't think anybody really, they expected him to be a good player, but this early on in the season, especially, it's amazing to see a player like him.
Absolutely. And dude, he was a second round pick, And the funny thing is, at the time, if you remember, Tyler, I don't know. Actually, you know what? I don't think I publicly said this. I was surprised that we picked Owen Beck, specifically because, hey, we had guys like Dallin Wakely, right? Who you and I had going in the first round, his Quinty Red Devil teammate, right? And I thought, okay, is there a reason why we didn't pick Dallin Wakely? Maybe there's something we don't know. And obviously, there was something we didn't know, because Owen Beck has been very, very good as a Steelhead so far. And of course, he's getting the attention of my apologies, NHL scouts, right, already. So, but listen, overall, he had a great weekend, right? He got on the point sheet well. He's been an impact player. And it's not just him. Xander Vecchia has been an impact player, right? Dylan Gordon in the in this game we were just talking about, had an impact game. A lot of rookies are starting to make a bigger impact, and that's all coming from experience.
Yeah, and I think again you have to give some kudos to the goaltending as well. I mean, Roman Bazrin just
Roman
I don't
Bazin
know
was
how he does it.
completely outstanding. Absolutely,
Like
he's been
it's
completely outstanding.
it's starting to make me wonder, why did Kelowna drop him? You know what I mean? Like, you dropped one of the best
Yeah, no, I
goaltenders in the
get it. Yeah,
CHL, and I mean it's starting to show. So I'm glad to see that. So again, Ty Collins gets the insurance marker, as we heard,
yep.
and as we all know. Luca Del Belbaluz and James Hardy get the assists on that one. It's 3-1. Niagara pulls Tucker Tynan. Del Belbaluz gets his 5th of the season. Ty Collins and James Hardy, of course, getting the assist. Surprise, surprise. And the Steelheads get 6 out of 6 total points. That was a weekend. Like, you love to see that, especially they go on win streaks. You know, they're like 2 or 3 games. But this, they have all the momentum going into next week. And that's going to be a really, really, really interesting time for them because they're facing Ottawa and Kingston. And then the following weekend, the following week, they play another 3-game week. Holy crap, this is starting to become a thing. They play on Thursday in Niagara, and then they're on a 2-game homestand at home. They're facing Barrie on Friday night, and then Niagara on Sunday afternoon. Or sorry, Sudbury on Sunday afternoon, my bad. And, you know, those are going to be some interesting games as well. I think that the next week is what we're focusing on right now because we're playing the Ottawa 67s. We beat them in the home opener when they came here. And then, of course, the Kingston Frontenacs, we're playing them for the 3rd time this year. This is never going to get old, by the way.
Hamilton's getting old. I'm sorry. It is.
It's going to get it's those games that, like, the goaltenders are just too solid.
They're too solid.
You know what? And before we move ahead into next week, Alex, I want to talk about the sponsor of today's video, CW Sports Memorabilia.
Our good buddy Charles is such an awesome guy. He runs such an awesome business. CW Sports Memorabilia is probably one of the better, if not the better, sports memorabilia business store, whatever you want to call it, establishment in the GTA today. Great prices, great selection, and it's run by a great guy in Charles Warburton. Great guy.
And he's got a lot of stuff. It doesn't matter if you're a hockey fan. He's got a little bit of something for everybody. He's got hockey, baseball, football, basketball. He's got a little something for everybody. So if you're a big fan of, you know, signed pictures, right? For example, from your favorite athletes, Connor McDavid, Sidney Crosby, he's got everything. He's got Vladimir Guerrero Jr. signed photos, baseballs, signed bats, sticks,
signed pucks of hockey.
And plus, what else does he do? He also does custom jersey framing, which we definitely recommend.
Custom jersey framing, the highest quality mahogany wood, whatever you want. It is an impeccable work. I fully recommend it. It's absolutely incredible work. His prices are more than fair. Great business, great guy. And like Tyler said, he has something for everyone. It's not just hockey. It's baseball, basketball, football, even soccer. I don't know how you even get soccer autographs. That blows my mind. He did one with Darcy Tucker. He did one with Salming, man. Leafs legends, right? He does autographs with major junior players and current NHLers. He does it all. All for a great price, and runs a great business.
And you know what the best part of all of this is?
No, I don't want.
If you use code PROSHOT, if you message him and use code PROSHOT, you can save 10% off of anything that you order.
That is true. Your first order.
Exactly. Which also, it's pretty sweet. So you definitely want to go check out CW Sports Memorabilia. We will link his store in the description. You can go check him out on Facebook, Instagram, and, you know, use the code.
Use the code. It helps us out. Without him, we can't make these, you know? So it helps us out.
So without further ado, thank you once again, Charles, for sponsoring this video. We really do appreciate it. CW Sports Memorabilia. Check them out in the description. And now let's move on to the look ahead. The Ottawa 67s.
Chris Barlas, a friend of the podcast, me and Thomas Zubris were able to interview for the OHL draft profile interviews. He's playing on the 4th line. Probably shouldn't be playing him on the 4th line, Dave Cameron, but you know, it is what it is. He's a rookie. So the Steelers are going to be going to the nation's capital to play Chris Barlas, Adam Varga, former Mississauga Steelhead. When is it again? What day is it again?
That one is on Friday, November 12th. So this one, the next 2 games are going to be in, as we mentioned, in Ottawa and Kingston. So they're not going to be at home, but the following week on the 18th, the week of the 18th, they're back.
Week of the 18th, specifically on the 19th, they are back home. I predict they will beat Ottawa. Will Cranley has been shaky against Mississauga. He has been.
That I agree with. We saw that in the first game. And I think,
Mississauga,
honestly, they know how to beat him now. They know how to get in his head.
Oh,
so
they
I think
absolutely do.
Without question, I think they'll be able to beat him.
Absolutely.
The only game that I think is going to be tough this week, obviously, is Kingston.
It is Kingston. If they cannot contain Shane Wright, they will lose the game.
Exactly.
They will lose the game. It doesn't matter who's in net. It could be Bazarin. Yeah. It could be Ranger. It could be Marty Berder. They need to contain Shane Wright. If they can contain him, they're fine. They've done it before. They can do it again.
And it's like we were talking about in the first game. If you can't contain him, he's going to go wild, and it's going to be a blowout game. So they did somewhat.
He just came off a 4-point night. He just came off, as for corners, a 4-point assist night. Come on. And all of those assists were just exceptional status, first overall NHL potential assists.
So I think the keys to victory for Mississauga through these next two games, just stick to playing your defensive game, shut down their stars as best as possible, especially in the Kingston game.
Yep.
Goaltending, I don't even think is going to be an issue. The three keys to victory, I'm going to say, goaltending, play your game, and stay out of the box. Those are the three things that I think are going to be the best keys to victory for the Steelheads.
You know what?
The good thing about this is they have a good shot to win. The momentum's on their side, and all they need to really do is just focus on playing the best that they can, and they have a chance to win out the week. Actually, Alex and I want to add one more thing before we end off the episode. Alex, we have something special coming up.
We really do. We have our very first giveaway coming up just in time for the holidays, because as soon as November 1st hits around, ho, 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 Merry Christmas it is.
And I'll tell you this.
Yeah.
You're definitely going to want to tune into the next episode, because we're going to be officially announcing the giveaway then, and it's going to be a really good one.
And this is the hint we will give you. It is a giveaway, a puck giveaway, beautifully signed by a current Mississauga Steelhead player on this team. That's all we'll say. It'll be worth it, absolutely. And we're very happy to be able to do this with him. The player is. And we will let you know more of the details on the next episode, where we will officially announce the rules. We'll post the rules, whatever, post the autograph puck, whatever the heck. We will do that all next week. So please be on the lookout for that. And hopefully one of you lucky listeners will get a signed autograph, an autographed hockey puck. So that should be fun.
It's definitely going to be a fun one. So as Alex said, you're definitely going to want to tune in next week for details on how to win this giveaway, and more importantly, to figure out what the giveaway is going to be. So that is going to be it for this one. Thank you very much for listening. If you haven't already done so, please hit that subscribe button and the little bell notification for any future content that you may enjoy. Don't forget to follow us on our social media. And most importantly, stay happy, stay healthy, and be kind to everybody.